So the American people are about to pay, simply because we are now at war. But at war with who? What is going on? What is happening right now in and around the United States that is causing millions of people to absolutely panic? I have received hundreds, not just several, okay? I've received hundreds of messages, both emails and comments over the past 24 hours, wondering what is happening and how are we going to be impacted here in the United States. Well, today I want to explain what's going on because according to Justin Trudeau from Canada, he says that the United States has now started a trade war. I want to explain what is going on and what this means for you and I moving forward. But before I do, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So as you are probably well aware, President Trump imposed tariffs of 25% on Canada and Mexico. Well, this was something that he was planning to do a month ago, but paused it for 30 days. Well, as of this morning, at 12 o'clock, we now have tariffs on goods coming in from Canada and Mexico. Look at this. It says Trump's tariff, trade war as U.S. hit China, Canada, and Mexico. Here's a quick little summary. It says Trump imposed 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. China, good duties doubled to 20%, and Beijing is hitting back. According to Justin Trudeau, this is a trade war. That's what's happening as we speak. Later on today, President Trump is going to speak in front of Congress, but that might be, well, we're going to have to wait and see what happens there because that might just be another announcement that's coming. So just bear with us. But why is Trump doing this and how is this impacting you? Well, here's what you need to see. This is the United States trade deficit in goods with Mexico, Canada, and China. You can see right here, the trade deficit with China is sitting at negative $295 billion. That means we aren't doing what we should be doing, okay? We aren't building our company. We're our country. We are helping China. We're doing more for China than China is doing for us. Look at Mexico. It's $172 billion as of 2024. And Canada is only $63 billion. Keep in mind, look what was going on when Trump was in office his first term. In 2020, Canada was only at negative 14 billion. Mexico was at 111 billion and China was at 308 billion. Okay, so we're doing a lot worse, especially when it comes to Canada and Mexico. China, though, actually not bad because when President Trump first came into office in 2017, we were seeing at $375 billion as a trade deficit to China. Now, $295. So again, that's a decent jump. Was that $80 billion? That's pretty good. But Mexico, you can see, that's a steep decline. And then obviously Canada, pretty big decline as well. So that, according to reports, is one of the reasons why President Trump is imposing these tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. But keep in mind, he's also said that he is going to impose additional tariffs on all countries, not just those three. Those are just the three we're starting with. But look at this. Here's the problem. China and Canada immediately retaliate against Trump's tariffs. They say Mexico is next. I want to read a little bit of this article to you. Look at this right here. It says Trump doubled the tariff on all Chinese imports to 20% from 10%. Those duties sit atop existing tariffs on hundreds of billions in Chinese goods. China and Canada immediately retaliated with tariffs on American goods, threatening to ignite a damaging trade war. Mexico said it would announce retaliatory measures on Sunday. Keep this in mind. President Trump said that the tariffs are at 25% for now, but he wants to ensure that we don't have this ballooning deficit. which means if Canada decides to retaliate with 25% tariffs as well, President Trump is going to jump higher to potentially 50%, 75%, even 100%. That right there would be devastating, because I want you to understand what's happening. Okay? Here are the facts. President Trump has imposed a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico, an additional 10% on China, which is now 20%, okay, on all goods. Okay? Here's the worry. Millions of people are worried about inflation. So am I. But here's the fact. In President Trump's first term, as President of the United States from 2027 to 2021, technically, what happened was we didn't see the inflation that we are supposedly going to see this time. But he also didn't impose tariffs on all these countries. And I want to explain why, okay? But first, before I do, here's a little warning. If you're planning to buy a new car, do it soon, because according to experts, they say tariffs could add up to $12,000 to new car prices. And keep this in mind. We produce a lot of products here in the United States, a decent amount of car parts and things like that. But here's the issue, or vice versa. It starts in the United States, we build a product, okay? And then we ship it off to Canada. Canada goes and manufactures the car or whatever, the additional part, sends it back to the United States. We stick it in the car and we ship it off, okay? That right there is, let's say we have a tariff on all Canadian imports, okay? Or the same for Canada on the United States. We ship it over to Canada. Canada is going to tax us an additional or a tariff of, let's say, 25%. Okay. Then they get done with that part. They ship it back to the United States. And again, because it's coming back to the United States, another 25%. All right. Then we get that thing done. We slap it in the car and we sell the car. That's going to increase prices. Same thing goes for Mexico, where products and goods are made in Mexico, or let's say in the United States, get sent off to Canada. Canada comes back to the United States, and here in the United States, we send it off to Mexico. Mexico manufactures the rest of the car. They get done with it, and they ship the entire car into the United States. Let's say an additional 25%. So it's 25% because it went to Canada, additional 25% because it came back to the United States, 25% into Mexico, and then 25% back into the United States. Well, if we just add that up, total, that's 100%. Now, are we going to see a total 100% increase to prices? No. But you get the idea how things could quickly balloon out of control. But I want to show you something. It says what Trump is doing and promising in his second term. This is exactly what people voted for. Okay? Millions of people voted for President Trump and Republicans to take control of the economy. That's exactly what he's doing. Now, I know it is very tough to watch because all we are getting is prices are going up. Okay, people are getting fired, layoffs are happening left and right, agencies are closing, benefits may stop, but I want to read this to you. It says, during the presidential campaign, Trump's platform included a call to stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower, along with large tax cuts for American workers. Trump suggested that tax cuts could be funded by a 60% increase in tariffs on Chinese goods and a 10% hike on other trade partners. In a meeting with congressional Republicans, even he reportedly suggested eliminating the income tax and replacing it with higher tariffs. I said this before, and President Trump was right. During the 1800s, we weren't taxing the American people. We had tariffs on goods. That's how we were receiving the revenue to run the country, not by taxing the American people. It's only because of a war. The only reason why we have taxes is because we were trying to fund a war. That was it. And the war has stopped, but yet the taxes haven't. That's the issue. President Trump and Republicans want to move away from taxes and just use tariffs. That's the reason why they're trying to implement these. And that's why they're going to do it on every single country. Now, he's been very clear. these tariffs are going to impact every single person's wallet. We are going to see higher prices, but it will be temporary. That's what they're saying. Okay. Says once in office, Trump moved quickly on tariffs, but at more tempered levels. Just weeks into his new term, Trump announced tariffs to take effect beginning on February 4th. 25% on imports from Canada and Mexico and 10% on imports from China. Duties on oil imports from Canada would actually be lower at 10%. It says, but hours before Mexico and Canada tariffs were set to take effect, Trump spoke to leaders of both countries and agreed to a 1-month pause in exchange for pledges to enhance security at the southern and northern borders. Yeah, that happened. That pause is over with, and now the tariffs are in effect. We're going to see what happens. All I can tell you right now is yes, the American people, according to multiple experts, are going to pay. Some are going to pay in higher prices. Others are going to pay because jobs are actually going to shift. What we are about to see, and this is the purpose behind tariffs, is if we raise tariffs so much, companies are going to stop producing products in other countries and they will come and produce right here in the United States. That's exactly what we heard from Taiwan Semiconductors just yesterday. They're going to invest $100 billion. Apple is going to invest $500 billion, and many more companies are coming here to the United States to put down roots and really manufacture and build here to get away from those tariffs. But at the same time, it means more jobs. It also means more taxes, and it means more income for the United States. So, as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates. But as of today, experts believe we're headed towards the beginning of a trade war. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.